So this paragraph is for the field of didactics, technology and education. Now we move on to the field of literature. I'm doing my best to provide the samples for both specialties. So this is concerning some techniques used by used in here the famous Romeo and Juliet, as you can see here. So the claim was about Romeo and his love to Juliet. So as you can read here, Romeo loves Juliet more than Rosaline, as he is willing to sacrifice his own family name to be with her. So this is the claim supported or developed by the student. To support this claim, here the student took a quote from Act 2, page 2. So this is evident in Act 2, scene 2, page 2, where Romeo reveals his love for Juliet, as the following quote demonstrates. Of course, you should here in the field of literature, mainly in the third chapter, you should provide some extracts to reinforce your claims in your analysis. And here you should provide here the page number, and of course it depends on the citation style that you are using. If it is MLA, just the author and the page number, the number of act, scene, etc. If it is APA, date of publication, page number. So this is the quote taken from Romeo and Juliet. Okay, then the student explains what is in the quote. Romeo reveals in this scene that he is willing to give up his own name for Juliet to ensure they are able to be together despite having feuding families. So this is what the explanation. This illustrates Romeo's true love for Juliet. So in here, of course, the last sentence, or what is called the concluding sentence, is a bridge. It links the explanation to the evidence to the claim. So this is what we have seen as the warrant. The warrant is the bridge, and it is the last part in the paragraph, and it should be mentioned. And it links, of course, these elements to the claim, and provides a map road to the next paragraph. So this is concerning this sample. Now we move on to another type of paragraphs. This type is called Peter paragraph. It means that it has point, claim, evidence, technique, explanation, reader or reader's response, and it is taken from the theme of poverty in Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I took this sample for the field of literature and civilization. So what is called Peter paragraph or Peter paragraphs? This letter contains the point, the evidence, the technique, the explanation, and the reader's response. So in the first stage, determine your claim. As you can see here, you need to support your claim with evidence in the second stage. So here is the quote taken from Christmas Carol. And the third stage provides one technique. As you can see here, Dickens uses emotive language to hide plight of the poor. And the uses of emotive language emphasizes the sheer amount of poverty of the people living in. So this is to support your evidence. And the fourth stage, explain whether the theory or the technique used is good or bad in this stage. Whereas in the last stage, it means that the warrant, give your view on whether the point affects the reader or not. So Dickens wrote the novella as a social critic to show the bourgeoisie in the society that we should have collective responsibility for one another to help those less fortunate. Okay, so you should give what your view on whether the point affects the reader or not, or may affect the reader or not. So as you can see here, the picture paragraph is an important paragraph. Mainly, this paragraph is used when you are analyzing, and it is important in your analysis. It means that in your, I don't know where you are going to analyze, whether in the second chapter or the third chapter. Here you should depend on what is called picture paragraph in your analysis to here to build a good synthesis. So as you can see here, we've got the claim, the point. In this extract, Dickens uses the charity as a symbol of hope for poverty during what the Victorian era. This claim is supported by evidence, and here, since it is adopted, I didn't change. I took it as it is. You should provide what the page number or the page number with the date if you are using the APA. And of course, this evidence should be this evidence is followed by what the technique. You should talk about the technique that the author is using, and this type of paragraph is mainly used in the field of literature. Dickens uses emotive language to hide plight of the poor. And the technique, so the technique takes just, you mentioned technique, emotive language. Then you explain in a blue color for what reason, to hide what plight of the poor, and you give more explanation concerning the technique being used, or even in the field of didactics, why not, you can use it. And you are going to, for example, to talk about the effectiveness of such of a given approach or theory from your analysis, the uses, and of course here, as you can see here, the student or the researcher took even some extracts from the previous quote to explain. So we should make, as you can see here, supports Dickens' own views, as the writer attempts to show what the upper middle class readers and attempts to teach them how to feel or the feeling towards the poor. Okay, so in here you should explain what you have provided, and you should guess about the reader's response. Now we move on to what is called the P paragraphs. So what is called the P paragraph in here, this type is built on what is called the sandwich approach. So as you can see here, so we've got here to make it very clear and very closer to what we have. You've got the point, so the point is the claim is what here is the bread. Then the evidence, you've got salad, you've got meat, you've got tomato, you've got here what is included. So this what supports or explains what is called the evidence, and the explanation by the end, which is the bread. Okay, so this is a simple paragraph. This can be used in your literature review writing. I took here the sample for the field of literature about Shakespeare, Macbeth. So as you can see here, so in here the quote is a very long quote, and it should be a block quote, not a short quote. Since it is adopted, I didn't change, and there is an explanation. So this is a simple paragraph containing what? Claim, evidence, and explanation, using what? What is called the sandwich approach. We've got what is called peer paragraph. Peer paragraph contains what? Contains the point. It means that the claim, the evidence, and the analysis. In here, and it is not like, so we've got here the explanation, you are explaining, and here the analysis, here you are explaining, and this mainly used in writing the literature review, the P paragraph. P paragraph is used mainly in your analysis. That means that the third paragraph, chapter, you've got the claim, you've got the evidence, which is the quote, and of course the extract should be analyzed. Okay. So this is called the peer paragraph, and of course this paragraph is about Shakespeare's Macbeth. Now we move on to another type of paragraphs, which is called PS paragraph. I try to take some samples from the net, some pictures, to make it very clear. So this means that you provide what? A claim. You support the claim with evidence. You analyze the evidence. Then you provide a summary by the end. And of course it is not linked in summary. It means that you are going to summarize what? Summarize what is in your paragraph. And you are not going to provide the link to the second paragraph. So today Americans are too self-centered, and this sample is mainly for the field of civilization, since we haven't given any importance in our explanation or provided some samples for the field of civilization. Here this sample is for the field of civilization. So this sample is about Americans are too self-centered. Even our families don't matter as much anymore as they once did. Other people and activities take precedence. And here there is a quote by Blake. So Blake says in his book, "Faster we are consumers on the run." The very notion of the family, it means here family relations, as a sit-down occasion, as vanishing. Adults and children alike eat on the way to the next activity. So to support here the claim or the point here, the student or the scholar used what? A quote from Blake book Faster. Then he analyzed the evidence. Sit-down meals are a time to share and connect with others. However, these connections have become less. To prize individual activities over shared time, promoting self-centeredness over group identity. And to finish here, he provided what? He provided a summary of what he included in the paragraph. So it is time for Americans to value building connections in relationships. So the text, of course, revolves around Americans and their relationships and how it becomes more. They become supporting more individualism rather than group identity. And he summarized by the end that for the Americans, they should value building connections in relationships. So this is called the PS paragraph. It is another type of paragraphs which consists of what? Claim evidence. You analyze the evidence, and most importantly, the evidence should be a quote and a summary for what you have analyzed. So what is different in PS plan? The PS plan, PS, it means that point, evidence, analysis, summary. The PS plan replaces the term leading with the term summary, and there is what is called PL paragraph. And I need you to search for what is meant by PL paragraph and in which position we use it. Is it in writing the literature or in your third chapter, the analysis? So, referring to a sentence that wraps up the ideas in the paragraph and ties back to the point, reminding the reader or the readers why the paragraph is important to the overall argument. So, this, which is the SPS, summary, what, reminds the readers why here the claim is important or why the argument is important to the overall arguments. You may have heard of the phrase two peas in a pot, two peas in a pot. So this is the pot, and there is peas in the pot. So the cover of the pot is what? The main idea. What is inside the pot is what, or builds what? The evidence and the analysis. And so this is called what? We've got P, E, A, PA paragraph. PS paragraph, in contrast, contains what? Main points, evidence, summary, analysis, and summary. But in this case, in this part, we've got the main point, we've got evidence, then explanation of the evidence, or analysis of the evidence, then evidence and analysis of the evidence, then a summary sentence by the end. It means that there is main point, which is the claim, then evidence, then you analyze the evidence, then another evidence, then you analyze the second evidence, then the third evidence, then you analyze the third evidence, and by the end a supporting sentence. So this is a type of PS paragraph. It means that the evidence, you are not going to depend just on one evidence to support your claim, but you depend on the three parts. Evidence, you analyze it, you analyze the first evidence, then you move to the second evidence, you analyze it, then the third evidence, then you analyze it, and you provide the summary sentence by the end. So this is a part or a type of PS paragraph. Another type, you've got the claim, the main point, then what? E. It means that evidence. Three parts. Then you analyze, then evidence, then you analyze two times. And a summary by the end. And here it depends on the content, it depends on the topic, and it depends on your competence to do that. And this doesn't come without practice, of course. Of course, let us return to our piece. So we may have here used as an example peas in the pot. So, but of course, pots usually contain multiple peas. It is the same in your paragraph. You will need more than one piece of evidence. And this is what I have explained here. And one sentence of analysis. And the evidence and the analysis sentences will be mixed and combined within your paragraph. Sometimes some parts contain more than one evidence, as we have seen here. Okay? You've got evidence and many or more than one piece of evidence, and of course its analysis. Now we move on to what is called PEXA or Pexas paragraph. It is not Texas, it is Pexas paragraph. Okay? So we've got claim, we've got evidence, we've got the example to reinforce the or a set of examples to reinforce your evidence. You analyze your evidence with its examples, and here a summary by the end. And this is called Pexas paragraph. So this sample is also in the field of civilization. It is about a humanitarian movement, and its primary aim was to promote the rights and welfare of non-European people. So this is the claim. What is as evidence or piece of evidence? The Church Missionary Society was a large and influential organization of Anglican faith based in London in 1804. Its reach extended to the developing colony of New South Wales. And of course, this claim, of course, it is taken from source, and here it is important to mention the source. It was from here that Samuel Marsden cultivated an interest in the Maori, more, of course, here worthy of his engineers. So this in this stage, the student provides an example to support the piece of evidence. This piece of evidence is analyzed. Then you provide a summary by the end. For example, he saw that, they shared, and of course there is here no bridge for the next paragraph. So this is what characterizes the PIXAS, the PS, the PL paragraphs. There is no link, or there is no macro to the following paragraph, as we have seen in the Peter paragraph. Peter and Peel paragraph. Now we move on to the claim and the counterclaim. Of course, there is a claim. You support your claim with evidence, you analyze, you interpret, you explain, you give examples, you summarize. And here it depends on the type of the paragraph you are going to use, whether it Pexas or PS or P or PL, etc. Of course, here you should also to reinforce your analysis and your interpretation and your synthesis with using what? Counterclaims. Counterclaims can be integrated within the same paragraph, and sometimes you find in the previous paragraph a claim, the following paragraph counterclaim. For example, here this sample is about the banning of Muslims from entering the United States. and this happened mainly after the events of the 11th September. While critics may argue that banning all Muslims from entering the United States will make us safer, and here, as a piece of advice, I need my students to give examples about when you say some studies, some research works, some critics. Provide at least some examples to reinforce your claim, or to reinforce the evidence that you are providing. You can't generalize. Why critics? Why there are some studies? Provide examples of these studies, or these approaches, or these theories, or those scholars, or those critics. In reality, this sends a dangerous message of intolerance that will ultimately upset many people around the globe, and possibly motivate them to join the same radical organizations that this measure would aim to protect us from. In fact, so as you can see, this is so what is in red is a claim. The following is what the counterclaim of the claim. Okay, and the student here provided some words from Obama's speech, as you can see here. So that's the kind of propaganda they use to rescue. And here, of course, when you provide a counterclaim, you should what? You should provide a good piece of evidence, mainly using quotes. So this is concerning claim and counterclaim. When it comes to analyzing the literature review, there are two types of analysis. Mainly what is called within study literature analysis, and between study literature analysis. These two types of analysis are important and should be conducted in writing your literature review. So what is meant by within study literature analysis? This type involves analyzing the contents of specific work. You are going to analyze the content of a given work. That is to say, it analyzes in details the work starting from the title. You are going to analyze the work starting from the title. What is in the work? Between study literature analysis involves comparing and contrasting information of two or more literature sources. You are going to contrast and compare two literary sources. Two sources, it means that it is a surface analysis, not I'm not going to dig deeper on the source. So this doesn't mean that you compare and contrast just the empirical side, but it can be done through checking, for example, the literature review, the approaches used, the methodologies, etc. Okay, so in your analysis, in writing your literature review, you depend on two types. We've got what is called within study literature analysis and between study literature analysis. In the first, you are going to analyze the work of one author or one scholar. You are analyzing in details, starting from the title of the work. Whereas in the second, it is mostly used when you are here conducting your study with multiple sources. You are going to analyze between using what is called between study literature analysis. You focus mainly on the literature review of both scholars or the set of scholars, the approaches they use, the methodologies, the findings, the recommendations, the implications, the solutions they provided in case the field of literature. So this is an overview of what is the steps, the techniques used to write the literature review. If you have any inquiries, any questions, any comments, you got the two emails, my emails, the two in Yahoo and in Gmail, and even my Facebook. For next sessions, inshallah, will be devoted for techniques of academic writing, and will focus mainly on how to paraphrase. When we have learned how to synthesize, it is important to learn how to paraphrase. Learning how to paraphrase, you can't master paraphrasing without learning the main components of the paragraph, including the claim, the evidence, the warrant, etc. You should master these. Master these through practice. I'm going to send you practice. I need your feedback. Even for the previous activities, I need your feedback for your activities to know, in order to know your level. Okay, to know your level. Whether I should add some more explanations to some points to reinforce your knowledge with more activities, mainly in the last sessions concerning how to develop an argument, types of arguments, types of claims, types of evidence, how to build the evidence. And I need you here to answer my question concerning what is the difference between evidence and assumption, the author's evidence and the author's assumption. So the next session I will prepare next session. The next session will be for the field of academic writing, mainly here learning some techniques of paraphrasing. So we stop here. Have and stay safe.